Hi everyone, I'm Katherine Stanislawski, your Rolla Missouri Realtor, and I'm here with Kelley Durbin, who is a septic and well inspector. I hope you've watched our previous video about private wells and learned all about the inspection process, along with some great tips on maintaining your well and keeping your well water safe. If you're shopping for a home outside of the city limits, then you're more than likely going to be looking at homes that are on their own sewage system. You know, the place where all the goes. Today we're going to learn about one type of sewage treatment called lagoons, what they are, and how they treat wastewater, and what are some important things to know about a lagoon system. Kelley, thank you again for allowing me to tag along today. Why don't you start by explaining what types of residential sewage system treatments there are, and then explain everything a buyer should know about lagoons.
So for lagoons, one of the biggest health and safety risks is the fence. It's just
And it's mandatory without question?
It is mandatory without question.
Acreage?
Yeah, there's no situation where it's exempted from having a fence. And that is due to a child falling in, livestock possibly falling in, even a neighbor's dog falling in, or just anybody getting in there. If you have the exposure to the septic, obviously it's a health risk because there are a lot of real bad diseases and pathogenic infections that you could get from exposure to septic, but also the safety issue of just falling in.
Sure.
So always a fence. And they used to have pretty strict guidelines on what kind of fence, but now it's just a woven wire fence with a gate.
Okay, and a certain height.
And 4 feet tall.
4 feet tall. Okay, and all the way around the perimeter.
All the way around.
Yes.
And it should be, this one's in a good position.
Great.
There's so many forms that kind of go along with this and so many different things that you see when you come out to do inspections that I typically just try to collect the information, and then when I go back I know which forms to choose and what to fill out once I've been there and seen what I need to report on. They're built up enough so that any surface water that's coming down this way is going to be diverted off. So that looks pretty good there. They're supposed to be flat and 4 feet wide, and they don't stay that way over time. So even if they were constructed that way, erosion, animal activity, that sort of thing can cause them to change shape a little bit. And then of course the vegetation, we want to try to keep as much of that out as possible. There's some duckweed. Duckweed is one that once you have it, you'll never get rid of it.
Okay, which one is duckweed?
It's the one that has the teeny tiny little leaves, the green, that's floating in the water there. And sometimes when it takes over, it just takes over the whole area and there's just not much you can do about it. We actually have a large lagoon system in Cuba for our business, and we have to get out there in boats with rakes and just try to pull it out as much as we can as a maintenance. And this looks pretty good. Obviously there's a little bit of vegetation. It's something that maintenance-wise, you know, if a person could get out and trim all the vegetation once a year maybe, and just make sure that the trees are back enough so that they're not dropping a lot of leaves into it. The main thing for the adequate treatment is having direct sunlight on it and the wind.
Okay.
So it's air and sunlight.
Okay.
And the rule for heavy timber is 50 feet back. Now what I would consider heavy timber and what somebody else might consider heavy timber might be two different things. One tree that's this size in my mind is not heavy timber. Heavy timber in my mind is to where it's getting a lot of leaves in it, it's blocking out the sun and blocking out the wind. So maybe here a little bit of trimming just to kind of push back a little bit, but it looks pretty good. I mean, not overly shady or taking on a lot of debris from the tree.
Yeah.
What we normally look for is a greenish color, and I think it's got a little bit of a greenish color, but really it's pretty clear.
Okay.
And it is up to date on its security standards with the fencing.
Yes, we're good on the fence.
And I expected to smell a little bit of an odor, and I don't smell anything.
No, a lot of people think lagoons are real smelly, and as long as they're getting plenty of sunshine and wind on them, they typically
Are
tend
doing
not
its
to be.
job. Okay.
Maybe in the real hot parts of the summer, occasionally you would smell it, but certainly from here to the home you would never smell it.
Right, okay.